Hi everyone, Sandra from ForYourChi.com here with your weekly tarot and oracle card reading for Monday, June 23rd, June 24th rather, through Sunday, June 30th, 2019. Thanks for tuning in this week. We've got a doozy of a message, which I'm going to get to in just a minute, but I want to continue my talk about coming back into our power. And next week, after I get through the foundation and the basis of what we're experiencing and what we're going to experience and why, then we're going to start to talk about clues that were in the Bible regarding this next week. Okay, so going back to my Atlantis story and the fall of Atlantis, we're taught to believe here in the States that gods and goddesses, Greek mythology never existed. It never happened. It's just something that people made up, right? That's what we were taught in high school anyway, in English literature class. However, if you know or meet anyone who grew up or spent any amount of time in Greece and specifically Athens, you can ask them these questions. Does Athena have a temple in Athens? Number one. And number two, were her bones buried in it? Now the answer is yes. And I know this because after I learned the information, I talked to two people that grew up in Athens in Greece. And the specific answer was nodding their head. Yes, that actually happened. People go there and worship her. And it's common knowledge. And not only do they believe that Athena had a human body, they believe all of them had a human body. All the Greek gods and goddesses did. So if she had bones, human flesh and bones, she had to come from somewhere. So they actually existed and had human bodies. It's amazing to me that somehow through our textbook and literature, we have not corrected this within the schools. I guess people can't handle it. They thought people couldn't handle it, and that's why they tried to cover it up and say it was a myth. But when you think about it, every continent had its own deities, its own gods and goddesses. You can go back and research them. It's not just Greek. They had Roman gods and goddesses. They had Celtic gods and goddesses. They had Hawaiian gods and goddesses. They have African gods and goddesses. I mean, the list goes on and on. So did we think that a culture made up their own deities, like, some shaman made them all up and they were just carried on throughout history? These deities are actually still being in Hindi gods and goddesses. They're still being worshipped today. They didn't go away. They had their power, and they had their power back in the days, the golden ages of Atlantis. Okay, so going back to my Atlantis story. During the fall and after the fall of Atlantis, it was decided by the people who were still alive that they were going to relinquish their power because they had just fought a war and went through a war because a certain group of people that had their power abused it. And they didn't want the planet to experience that kind of wrath ever again. So they agreed to relinquish their power. They did so in a ceremony. And they relinquished their power to, guess what inanimate object, what artifact? The Ark of the Covenant. So one of my teachers say that they released their power into a cardboard box, and that's what he's talking about, into the Ark of the Covenant. These objects had power. This object had an extreme amount of power. However, that's no more, because after December 21st of 2012, that was the marker of the old world, the end of the old world and the beginning of the new world of humans coming back into their power. So there's a big point to all of this. we are in the midst of this huge transition right now. I'm told that it's a 20-year transition from December 21st of 2012. So we're not even halfway through it yet. This is the reason that you are having synchronistic events happen to you. You think of someone and all of a sudden they call you, or they send a Facebook message to you, or you run into them at the grocery store or the gas station. It's also why you might think of an object. Say you broke your favorite casserole dish, and it was the only one that you liked, the only one that you used, and you think to yourself, I wished I had a backup, I wished I had another one, but you don't really get to the store to get it, and all of a sudden, a week or two later, your mom shows up with the same exact casserole dish that you broke, and she didn't even know that you broke the casserole dish. Okay? It's the same reason why you say to yourself, or say out loud, that you never get sick, you never get the flu or whatever, and all of a sudden, the next day or the next weekend, you find yourself in bed all weekend with some kind of bug. The God energy is within you. It hears what you're saying, it knows what you're thinking, and it responds in kind to your desires. Now, the reason you got sick, because you said you never get sick, is because the universe, the God energy, does not know the words not, no, never, don't, etc. It only hears what comes after that. It heard the word sick, and it said to itself, well, we must get sick, because she said that she was sick. It's very important to watch what you say. It's very important to watch what you think, because that energy, that God aspect of you, is responding in kind to every situation, every example, every environment, every thought, every deed, every action. It's very, very important that you put into priority your vibration and what you're putting in. You know, they always say, you've heard the saying, garbage in, garbage out. This is what I'm talking about here. It's very important to keep yourself in a peaceful environment as much as you possibly can. And when you can't, do the protection. If you don't know what to do, my video is still on sale for $24. It'll be on sale for another week, and then in July it's going to go up double. So go to my website, foryourchi.com, click on the videos tab, and you'll see it on sale for $24. After you make the payment, then I sent you the private link from YouTube. All right, so let's get into the messages for this week. Monday, Tuesday, solar plexus chakra. I wish this were a better message, because I really don't like this message. I really don't like this card. This means that you are being triggered by somebody or something happens and you start to panic and freak out. Now, it's a good thing that I just laid down the foundation for your vibration, because you're going to have to pull yourself out of it very quickly, because if you don't pull yourself out of it, it could downward spiral fast, okay? So when this happens, just think to yourself, this is just fear. This has just triggered my old fear. Nothing will come as a result of this. And then go into your positive affirmations. I am completely safe in all ways, as long as you're doing the protection that we talked about, okay? You can actually avoid a big disaster if you do that on a regular basis. All right, now, the card for midweek. This is the meditation card. This is you quietly alone meditating and perhaps studying on what you need to do here, what you need to do to pull yourself out of it, to make yourself feel better. I actually just completed 3 sessions, mental clearing energy, for 3 different clients who were depressed. Now, normally I use this technique on people who have anxiety, and it works really well. But I've had 3 people come to me lately that have been severely depressed for one reason or another, and they needed help, and I decided to something told me to try this mental clearing method, and it worked for them, and it continues to work throughout the days and weeks. I'm very impressed by how it works. I mean, it just uplifts you. You know, it's like they experienced a complete rebound, which is awesome. Okay, now, the card for the weekend is Fulfillment of Wishes. This is a great card. This is the Nine of Cups card. This is you getting what you want. Make sure you're asking for what you want. Make sure you're praying for it. Only pray once, though, and then do your positive affirmations to bring it in and receive. And this, Abraham Hicks does teach about that too. We're going to talk more about Abraham Hicks in the weeks to come. I did pull 3 oracle cards from the Earth Magic deck, Stephen Farmer, and the first card, they actually pertain to Monday, Tuesday. This card is Monday, Tuesday, and then I've got a card for midweek and the weekend. Desert is Vision Quest. So this is, and they're talking about a sacred meditation place, that you should find or build a meditation place on your property, a spot, or in your house, whatever you prefer. And that you are alone, meditating, getting guidance, because there are more downloads to come. We have just crossed over the summer solstice, and now we're in Cancer. And Cancer is the most psychic sign out of the zodiac. And you're going to notice more powerful visions, if that's what you normally do anyway, daydreams, and also very powerful and predictive nighttime dreams. Okay, so expect more of that. And you're going to be getting information during the day, and they're asking you to set aside time for that meditation so that you can get the accurate information. And we pulled this card 2 weeks ago, Autumnal Equinox, and this is releasing. You're letting go. You're releasing more of that doesn't serve you. Okay, that which no longer serves you. You're letting it go. Take a deep breath in, and as on the exhale, release it out. And you can even call on Archangel Michael to take it away from you, or whatever you believe in. All right, and the final card that coincides with this card for the weekend and the message for the weekend is Rainbow Blessings. So again, after you release it, then you're receiving the new blessings that your soul is longing for. What a great way to end that message, that card reading, and this whole entire video. As always, if you would like a private reading from me, please contact me at foryourchi@gmail.com, FORYOURCHI@gmail.com, or send me a private message on Facebook if we're Facebook friends. And I'm having a lot of people contact me about the email readings and the playing cards. They really are preferring that reading over the traditional Wheel with Tarot, because they can just call it up on their email when something happens that triggers their memory that the cards said would happen, and they can just pull it up on their phone very quickly and see the message and get the entire prediction, which is so cool. I love it. The playing cards give you such a heads up of what's coming up and exciting things. If you would like an email reading, let me know. All right, thanks everyone. Thanks for sticking in there with this long message. Have a great week.